Welcome back. Today, we are going to be discussing one of the most comforting, relevant topics today. And I know that many of you will be able to relate and identify to this feeling that we often struggle with. It's a feeling of being unseen, unheard. Maybe you feel abandoned. Maybe you have experienced abandonment. But I want to get into that a little deeper today because it's very relevant and it's very personal to me, things that I have experienced. Many of you know that my journey has been started out pretty rough. I have experienced abandonment from my father, rejection from my mother, and just in life general, you just feel unseen sometimes. Sometimes you just feel like you're just invisible. So, I want to talk about that on a very personal, spiritual level. I want you to know, those of you who are watching, that the Lord does see you. He sees you and He can come into right where you are. He can meet you right where you are. And He can take all that. And you don't ever have to feel alone. You don't ever have to feel unseen and invisible. Today, we are going to be teaching from the book of Genesis, Genesis 16. And in Genesis 16, it talks about Hagar. Hagar was an Egyptian slave, and she was a servant to Sarah, Abraham's wife. Now, many of you may already know the story how Hagar ended up conceiving and she gave birth to Ishmael. So Ishmael was her son and he was fathered by Abraham. But Hagar was treated harshly by Sarah. She was her servant, she was her slave, and because she was able to give Abraham a child and Sarah could not, there was a lot of resentment, a lot of jealousy, a lot of animosity. So Sarah ended up treating her very harshly and causing Hagar to flee, to run away. I found this story so interesting because when Hagar fled and she left and she was out in the desert alone, I'm sure she felt forsaken. I'm sure she was mistreated. And the Lord shows up and He meets her right where she is. And the reason that it fascinated me was because it's the first time that we see in the Bible where Hagar says, "Now I know that I have seen the one who sees me." And the name that she gave to the Lord at that time was called El Roi, Elroi. In Hebrew, it's pronounced Rohi. I just found it was just so relevant to me at the time when I was reading this story. And the Lord just gave me this revelation, like I saw it on a much deeper level. He who sees me, He who has the God who has seen me. And so this is just, it's so powerful, it's so encouraging. And you can also apply this to your life, whether you are going through something that is just so hard for you right now. It's painful. You felt like you're being mistreated. You feel unloved. You feel abandoned. You feel invisible. You feel like you have no joy, that no one sees you. Well, God, El Roi, says that He sees you. He is the God who sees you. So, once again, that was Genesis 16, and we are looking at Genesis 16, verse 13. So it says right there, I just want to read this to you really quick. It says, "She gave the name to the Lord who spoke to her, 'You are the God who sees me.' For she said, 'I have now seen the one who sees me.'" That is just, it is just so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. Just like take a minute and pause with that. The God who sees me in your situation, in your pain, in your struggles, your everyday struggles, the God who sees me, El Roi. So be comforted and know you are not alone. One of the ways that that you can apply this is, where in your life have you felt unseen? I want you to think about it. I want you to write it down if you need to. And when you do that, I want you to really think about this lesson and think about everything that I just said, and really think about the God who sees you, the God who sees you in your struggles and where you've just been, it seems like years, like, God, what is going on? I'm just so unseen and I'm in pain and my heart is in pain and I'm in pain emotionally. He is the God who sees you. Another thing that I found so interesting about this story is that the Lord then goes on to tell Hagar, as you also read this, he goes on to tell Hagar, not only does he see her, but he wants her to go back to to go back to Sarah. And so I just found that so, I was like, wow, okay, so Sarah is mistreating her. She runs away. God shows up, says that he is El Roi, he sees her, but he tells her to go back to the person that is mistreating her. Yeah, yeah, that really took me by surprise as well. So, he just keeps showing up, and you have to trust and know that God had a plan for Hagar, and he revealed that. As the story goes on, you will see that he absolutely had a plan for her in spite of the hardship, in spite of the pain, in spite of her being mistreated. He had a plan for her, and he had a plan for Ishmael. So my call to action to you today is, where in your life have you been unseen? Where have you been unheard? Where have you felt invisible? I want you to also drop it in the comments below. And I want you to also drop in the comments, God sees me. If this message touched you today, if it ministered to you, let me know. Let me know how I can pray for you. Let me know what I can do to help you walk this journey called life and live it to the fullest. I hope you are blessed beyond measure today. I hope you are empowered, and just know that El Roi is with you and he sees you. Be blessed.